Your eyes for just 1 second. Give me your eyes so I can see everything that I keep missing. Give me your love for humanity.
Well, we've lived this time in Alaska for at least 3.5 years. We moved back after living in Washington for about 11. And there's 5 of us, Eric, myself, and our 3 daughters, Ryan, Nevaeh, and Sophie. They are 10 and a half, 9, and 5 and a half, and they'll be with us on the trip as well. I am currently a stay-at-home mom with the girls, and Eric, do you want to?
I am currently a purchasing agent at the Red Dog Mine, Northwest Alaska, about 110 miles north of the Arctic Circle, working a rotation job up there. So keeps me busy and keeps life interesting. The mission trip for me is about giving back and finding another way to serve other than locally. I was voluntold 6 years ago by my wife and our administrator at our old church that they needed help to build, and so the story begins. I started going down building homes with Go, where we would build a house in 5 days, and in the evenings of those 5 days we'd do a soccer camp, which is what we're doing this year for upwards of 1,000 kids. Soccer, volleyball, baseball camp, depending on the year. So this will be the first year that we're taking the whole family. Typical day starts about 5:15 in the morning, trying to get everybody up, breakfast. At the curb by 6 o'clock. We are off to a feeding center somewhere in Mazatlan, Mexico, usually in the outskirts, so it's a half-hour to 45-minute drive in an Auriga. So there'll be about 100 and some of us emerging from the hotel and dispersing across the town all at one time. So then we'll go to a feeding center, feed the kids, anywhere from 60 to 100 kids per feeding center, and there'll be about a dozen people in each feeding center helping out. And then the first wave of kids will go to school, and then the other kids will stick around that have afternoon school or that aren't in school yet, and we'll play with them, minister to them, and teach English to them what we can, and my Spanglish. I try to communicate with them. After that, depending on what we're doing this year, because we're just doing camp, it'll be head to the fields, set up the fields, whether it's chalking, setting up literature, copying, registration forms. That'll take us till 2, go get some lunch, back to the fields by 4 for setup, start camp at 5 until 9. After that, it's breakdown camp, go get dinner, have a breakdown of what went on for the day, and to bed by 11:30, 12 o'clock, and that's one day. And we'll do that for essentially 5 days straight for camp, and then church and other things throughout and whatever God throws at us. So we're going down with Go, and if you look it up, it's goonthemission.org, and it's run out of a church group out of Washington State, where we came from previously, living in Washington. This will be my 5th trip out of 6 years. I missed 1 year.
This is mine and the girls' first trip. So we've been on the back end as far as, supporting Eric when he's gone, kind of giving him a little bit of comfort through the phone calls that, we get while he's gone. So we're excited to go. We've seen the pictures. We've seen the change. You see the amazing smiles and hope that comes back on the people's faces when they return home from the trip. And we're just excited to, see what's in store for us and introduce our kids to a different culture and really show them how blessed we are here in the United States.
So the first 9 days essentially are ministry days. We get in, you get set up Saturday. Sunday, it's off to church, some sort of evangelism, usually at night. There's a concert some years. whatever they can get set up, they will do depending on how many people we have. And then Monday we hit the ground running. If we're not in a feeding center, an orphanage, visiting, there's a place called The Dump, which is a place where a lot of the people actually live inside this dump, and we'll be ministering to them, going in there to see them, where they work and where they live. On the tail end, there's a day and a half for relax, recovery, and then back to the real world again. 6 years ago, my wife was in the nursery with our administrator, and she needed somebody to lead a building team, and she says, well, my husband, he builds things, so he can go. And so that's what started for me. My background is I'm a quarter Hispanic, so it's good for me to see some places where my family has come from. And so that's where my passion comes from, is the building. And then the secondary passion is the children, seeing the change on the children's faces. And I got hooked just seeing the same kids year after year because we go to the same place. You can see the progression, the growth of these children. I really just wanted to share it with the girls and my wife.
You know, Eric, just the change that occurred in him, and excuse me, the just amazingness that has come out of all of it. I prayed for 8 or 9 years for his salvation, and the first year he went, that was when he got saved. And so this has really become very special to us, and just knowing, you know, being taken out of your normal everyday routine and being outside your comfort zone, and just seeing what God can do with you and with our kids, and just really stepping outside of what we normally do, and just saying, okay, God, you know, we're going to go, and if it's your will, he made everything come together financially and ticket-wise and just everything. This is kind of us stepping out and saying, you know, we're going to go, and we're going to kind of take this opportunity, and whatever you bring out of it, or whatever he brings out of it, will be amazing, I'm sure.
I think the biggest thing is, you know, you can prepare, but be prepared to do the opposite. Everybody tells stories, we planned on doing this, it never happens the way X, Y, Z, A, B, C, it never happens that way. It's whatever happens, you just roll with it, you do it, you accomplish it, you get through it. It's very rewarding. Go down with an open heart, go down with open expectations. Don't be scared. There's always somebody there to help you. And I challenge everybody to find some way to participate, either support somebody or go on one yourself. I think the biggest thing that our trip is going to require is the prayer support for the safety of everybody, and that there's many people to accept what we're there to do. In the years past, I've actually been fortunate enough to travel to a couple of the different prisons down there. I've done some federal prison ministry and the military prison ministry, and that is always a unique opportunity. And I use where I come from as an icebreaker to tell these people that, 2 days before I'm meeting these people, I was 110 miles north of the Arctic Circle, and now I'm so far south in Mexico, and that triggers them, and it opens them, lets them become open to the messages that we have to share with them. And so we just need people to pray for that, and then everybody start planning for their own mission, because anybody can do one. There's lots of them out to be part of. If anybody wants to be part of this one next year, please feel free to contact us, and I'm sure we'll be going again, and I'd love to take a group from Alaska.
I'm Ryan.
Sophie and Nevaeh.
I'm 10 and a half.
5 and 9 and a half.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I'm looking forward for something new. It's a new country for me.
Like the beach and stuff.
The beach and the trip. Yeah.
Yes.
No.
We've been to California.
Yeah, it's really hard. When
It's gonna be way harder than that.
Yeah, really hard.
It's gonna be a new experience for all of us.